How we doing? Thanks for joining. This is In the Mix with, as usual, Philip Boyle, Joe Walters, and myself. So I'll go ahead and bring the boys in tonight. We're going to be talking about, I think, some headphones and some other stuff, and maybe a particular microphone that somebody might be using. So without further ado, howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Alive.
I'm recovering. So
Yeah.
well, as most people got hit by some part of that storm last week.
Oh.
So a week ago Friday, we had the power going on and off and on and off and on and off for several days. And in the process, we fried the power supply for our main board at the radio station.
No.
Is it an analog board or a digital board?
It's a cool board. It's a D75 from Wheatstone Audio Arts, and the channel strips, it doesn't have any plugs on it. You hardwire everything into it, so it's got custom wiring. But at the top of every fader, every slot, you can put a daughter card in to make it digital or analog. So it's completely customizable.
Yeah, customizable, yeah.
So like all of our CD players and computers and stuff are all digital coming in. The mics are analog coming in. But I've got a place that if a DJ wants to set down their laptop and just plug up right into the board, it's analog in. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Gotcha.
But finally, I went through that and did the tried to figure out what was wrong. Talked to the techs at Wheatstone. They confirmed what I thought was probably a power supply, or we all thought, and then reinstalled that, and we're up and rolling again. But it was a week full of stuff.
Yeah, it's always a week full of stuff. That's the bad thing.
Yeah, right.
So just saying hi, acknowledging Outsider Jess, Know Your Joe.
Jess. Hey, Joe.
Some of the gang is all here.
Awesome.
Jess is asking, is that a Vocaster DM14? So I'm sure she's talking to you, Phil.
No.
Nope. But it does have the same shape, sort of. So
is the DM14 the? I can't remember the model numbers.
I think it's when you had the pop filter on it, it looked similar. I think maybe I don't know.
Oh, I mean, you know what, Jess, I don't know because I can't remember what the DM14 looks like. Too many microphones. Let's see, Vocaster. DM14. But to answer your question, no, it's not a Vocaster microphone. Yeah, that's what I thought. The DM14 is that one that came bundled back on Black Friday with the Vocaster 2. It's sort of their homage to the SM7B. This is not. This is a side address condenser microphone made by Aston Microphones, a formerly UK company. This is a UK made Aston origin.
She was asking me.
Yeah, I didn't think she was asking me.
No.
You're the one that you got that red ring around.
It's got the red ring. Yeah, no, this is an SM7B that I had to replace the pop filter on. So now it's got a red ring on it. Actually, I think it's optional.
It is.
It's on there. Yeah. Gives it a little spark. Huh?
So it looks good though.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Joe.
actually surprised.
Hey, Pepper Carver.
Hey guys.
Jess.
I'm actually surprised some Chinese manufacturer didn't make one of those little plastic rings with LEDs in them.
Oh yeah. How would you power it? But that would be a neat little
lithium
add-on.
battery would do it. Yeah.
Little tiny one.
Yeah, little tiny board, little lithium thing. You tuck it out of the way of your
on the
bottom of the mic. I just gave away an idea for a product.
I want to get into the headphone thing that we were talking about before, that Joe was talking about, and then after that it's whatever.
Sure.
So
let's do it.
Nobody knows that.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I was listening to you guys last Thursday. I was driving back from the theater. My son was in a show, and
nice.
I jumped in late. And he's doing good. And I jumped in late. And there's always lots of people talking about headphones sometimes. And I actually bought the ones that you were using, the ones you were talking about.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah, when you and Clay
Oh,
were
the-
both using those headphones.
Yeah.
I got them. I laid them down in my things to do pile, but I have not opened them yet. But I have them. So anyway, I think I've been wanting to make a video for a long time about that is not about the pandemic, but got me thinking about a lot of things during the pandemic that are certainly still useful. And one of them was just sort of crosses the line between hygiene and other things. Because I hear a lot of people talk about my headphones are too hot, or they're too sticky, or they're too whatever, or the MDR 7506s after a year or two, the vinyl starts to flake off or whatever. And it's just, I think all those are probably true, but one of the things I first do when I get headphones is I will get socks for them. And you can get these in all different colors. Some of them have holes just to make sure they don't color the sound, and some of them don't. And you can get them in different sizes. And if you've got talent that cannot remember the left ear from the right, you can put, red on right and blue or black or green or gray
Which is funny you say
on
that
the left.
because
So
these.
that's one of the things with the MDR 7506s is that,
Oh, he can't.
or
hear us.
any headphones, is you can get them, and as soon as you pull them out of the box, you can put socks on them. And like I said, they come in all different colors and sizes. And
How much do
they're
the socks cost, Joe?
Oh, they're not very much. They're on Amazon. There's 1,000 companies.
I did not know you could do that. I'm going
Yeah.
to do that.
They're just these guys right here. These are black ones. And so the reason I started these, again, was sort of from the Well, I know that some of the high-end microphones come with replaceable pads. But during the pandemic, one of the things that I invested in were these guys because, I'm not here to talk about vaccines or not vaccines or what we should do or not, but during flu season at the radio station or in the recording studio, when it's flu season, wash your hands before you come in. Wash your hands when you leave. And you're sick, don't come in. But the other thing I bought, I think a gross of these. They're these little disposable ones, little hats. And
Yep.
they're made for headphones, but we can also put them on microphones.
I was gonna say microphones.
Because they're acoustically transparent, so you can put it on the end of an RE20 at the radio station, and just take it and throw it off. You get these in every DJ's mailbox. The other thing that we did is I gave everyone their own foam, so they could bring it in, put it on, take it home, wash it.
Like a foam pop filter type thing. Yeah.
The great big ones for the RE20. So anyway, I just wanted to say, regardless of what the headphones you use, you can get these. And then when they get sweaty, you can throw them in the laundry,
And wash
put on
them.
a different one. And the other reason I started thinking a lot about this is, again, during COVID, the conservatory, the people that worked at the conservatory had a lot of extra time on their hands, like a lot of us. And I got a big box of MDR 7506s that were in their listening library. And all of them worked except for one. Now, just because they worked doesn't mean they were in great shape. Some of them had bad cables. Some of them didn't have the earmuffs were gone, but they actually technically worked. So I invested in a variety of replacement headphones. And whether you like the MDR 7506s or not, they've been around for such a long time, and they've been an industry standard for such a long time that you can get literally dozens of these.
That's cool.
You can get them in vinyl. You can get them in cloth. I've got some with cooling gel inside, so they're super comfortable. Some people talk about them 7506s as being too small. You can get these in different sizes. So I've replaced all of those old headphones with new pads, and then covered the new pads
With the socks.
with socks.
That's
to
great.
Make them last as long as possible. And the other thing is some of them, I don't know what the shape this one is in. I'll keep talking even though I can't hear you. I took the first one I started working on. Oh, this one doesn't have any writing on it. The first one had written on it like Listening Station 5 or something with one of those metallic Sharpies, and it was really ugly. And I cleaned it off with chemicals, and it was just a huge, ugly pain in the butt, and it was gross. They were kind of sticky. It took me a long time to get it nice. So the other thing is I got these clip-on headbands, which make it so if it's ugly,
Oh,
you can just cover
nice.
it. I've got
And
some
that's
old
like a
headphones
cloth
that are
as
starting to
well?
fall apart, and just cover them. But even if they're not ugly, if you want a little extra cushion, you can get these. And all this came on Amazon, but you can probably get them in lots of other places too.
You get them
So
cheaper
I
on
rehabbed a bunch of my
AliExpress.
headphones with new pads, the socks, and headband covers. I've also replaced some of the cords, and like I said, one of the headphones out of the whole box I got didn't work, so I bought a new headband, which had the plastic on them, but did not have the speakers. So I just took the speakers out and installed it in the new band and installed the new cord. Again, you can get parts for every different part of the 7506s, which is one of the reasons I really like it. But you can use these kinds of things to rehab lots of different kinds of headphones and make
I
them
like
more,
the
and make them more
headband
comfortable.
thing too.
Yeah.
That reminds me of when I used to work in like not construction, but where I had to have a hard hat. We used to be able to get similar things that buttoned on to, you know how a hard hat has like a padded thing for your forehead?
Yeah.
You could get like a terry cloth cover to keep the sweat from dripping down into your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, Copper Carver says a lot of headphones have big holes for your ears and utilize spatial audio. I wonder if that would affect the sound. I'm not doing a lot of spatial audio. I'm doing stereo. And you can get different styles of those. And you talk about the heat. You know, some people find that the vinyl and the sweat is actually more annoying than
for
the
me
cotton.
it is.
And if
For me, it is.
if I'm sitting in one place working, it doesn't take anything but a couple seconds to swap the socks out. You know,
Yeah.
so I think it depends on the temperature. It depends on a lot of different things. But like I said, you can also get them with cooling gel. The pads with the cooling gel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got a pair of MDR 7506 pads that have cooling gel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're-
I've seen
they're
them like
really comfortable.
sweat cloths or whatever things
Yeah.
that have the cooling.
So I'll tell you what about on this topic. So I'm going to hang on a sec. Let me turn my volume down. Let me turn my speakers on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
And I can hear you. Okay, great.
Okay.
So these are V700s Sony headphones, and what I love about these is they've got that, you know, they rotate out flat, right?
Yep.
Because, you know, DJs, they love wearing them and doing this, right? They're also very, very efficient. These are 25 ohm. So,
Right. So that'd take a lot to drive them.
very, very efficient. But the cost of replacing the band with, you know, an equivalent band on AliExpress was just more than I wanted to do. So and the problem is that the band on these, they do that chemical breakdown thing that happens to a lot of rubberized things. You know, they get sticky over time. That's exactly what happened here. So I just ordered some medical tape in colors, and I wrapped the gooey band with
the tape. Yep.
with the medical tape, and then I, you know, screwed these back together. It pinches and holds them in. Now, sometimes after about, I noticed after about a year, you can feel a couple of sticky spots because they continue to degrade, chemically break down. So I just pulled the tape off and I put new tape on it. Worked out really well. But to your point with the earbuds, I don't like. Years ago, when I worked for Sony Qualia, we made a set of headphones that had no contact with the ear at all. They literally rested entirely on the skull, right? And it meant you could wear them for much longer periods of time.
Yeah.
So I went on to AliExpress and I literally just did measurements, and I found that AKG, the M50 series. They make an M50, M40, M30. They're all the same size. They're big on the whole. That they go around my ear, and they're small enough that they'll fit into the V700 or the 7506 or the V6. And so I basically hacked the headphones and put AKG larger pads, larger ear cups on them.
Yeah.
And so
they fit
these
over your
don't
ear,
touch my
not
ear
on
at
it.
all.
That's
Yeah.
what I like about these. These are the Sennheisers, but these and my Bear Dynamics, they're both like really large cups, and they don't touch my ear really. They're just on my head, like you said.
Yeah. So you're able to turn your Sony headphones that are designed to actually be on the surface of your ear, unless you
Yeah.
got a tiny ear, into an over the ear. And yeah, there's all kinds of cool ways to hack it. I bought these were like $5 a pair for these. You get them in multiple colors, and I mean they go on sale, sometimes cheaper.
I might be grabbing some of those socks to put on these the Nubo headphones.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It really is.
Just asked what headphones. I've worn 7506s. Did you guys answer that one already when I stepped away?
Nope. I haven't been able to really answer
Okay.
anybody yet.
Let's see. If
Where
I'm
is she
using
at?
wireless, I use the Audio Technica M20X. Audio Technica. I'm sorry, I said AKG. It's Audio Technica, I believe. It's the M. They make the 20, the 30, the 40.
When
and
you
the
said
50.
M50, I was like, that's audio, but I wasn't.
Audio
I
Technica.
didn't want to overstep. Yep.
No, you're not overstepping. I don't use Audio Technica headphones, so I was just trying to remember why.
Alan.
Basically,
Oh. No, go ahead.
once you have the measurements, like these are, they're I believe 105 by 90. So once you have it, you have it, and it doesn't matter as long as the seller has the measurements on the site. Which shockingly, some AliExpress listings don't have the dimensions. So as long as you have the dimensions, it doesn't matter. I actually somewhere around here. I got a. Let's see if I can reach him. No, I can't reach him. But here it is. Here it is. Here it is. My brother was playing with it the other day. This is a set of headphones. I don't know if you can see it, but they're narrower on one side than the other side, and they're really deep compared to these. This is what I had on here originally, but I was joking. They looked like Princess Leia headphones because they were so thick. Yeah, but these are crazy deep. Nothing touches my ear.
So I'm going to answer somebody's question in the chat. I'm going to direct it towards kind of like Joe, but all of us. I'll put it up on the screen here. It says, "Hey, Alan, I am planning to start a live streaming podcast to showcase my sploinage system." I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you guys do. Which mic do you think is better for this? Again, every mic is different on every voice, so that's a tough question to ask. But he's asking between the Beatrix 6000 USB and SMBR XLR. I don't know if he meant to put SM7B, but there you go. Because the reason I'm directing it towards you two is because I've never heard of a Beatrix.
I'm looking at
Joe, what's a sploinage system?
Well, Joe's looking up the mic or the mics.
Yeah.
I'll look up sploinage system.
SPLOIN.
He'll probably leave us a comment here shortly.
Alex, what's a sploinage system? More
Alan.
information, sir. Alan.
Sploinage.
No, he said, hey. Oh, so it is Alan. Hey, Alan.
Yeah, Alan at EXE.
sorry.
Sploinage system. Oh. No. What?
So the Beatrix is a USB mic, SMBR XLR. Let's see. My comment was just a joke. I didn't know you would read it like that.
Who's the?
Well, I have no fucking sense of humor, so apparently I. I didn't get it. Next time, give us some visual cues because we're dumb.
Whose question
old
was
and
just a
dumb.
joke?
Alex,
Oh,
Alan, give us a smiley face, something.
okay.
Now we look like really.
Yeah, no, well, we're just being courteous and answering questions. I
Trying.
mean, if you don't indicate in some way that it's a joke, we're gonna take it
So,
serious.
so Alan, is a sploinage a real thing, or is that just like
So-
a made up thing, like a metaphoric inhibitor?
I could not find anything. I did find a spoils system, which is a 19th century political practice where winning parties awarded government jobs to supporters, friends, and campaign workers rather than qualified candidates.
How do I get one of those?
The victor belonged the spoils. So, all right, what else do we have for questions? Good evening, live stream consultants. How you doing? I'm just looking for.
Earbuds. Thanks for addressing.
Yeah,
What headphones are y'all wearing?
go ahead, Phil. What are you wearing?
I am wearing.
went
I
over
am
it, but-
wearing modified Sony MDR V700 DJ headphones.
What the heck are mine? Oh yeah. These are Sennheiser HD 560S. Very comfortable, very sleek. They're not huge. So that's what I'm wearing.
And mine are 7506s, which are just always on the desk. Not my favorite necessarily, but they're
there.
here.
Would you,
yeah.
would you, Joe, say that the 7506s are sort of the de facto SM57 of the
It's like a
headphone world?
Yeah, no. Everybody's got those Sonys except me.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, and they're very common, and people love them and people hate them. And, there's lots of discussion out there about why to love them or why to hate them. I mean, like I said, I got a box of them. I can make them work. I can fix them. I mean, the upside for them is pretty good. But I understand why people don't. I understand why people have different opinions about them.
Splainage myself. No, I got that. That was a joke.
So that was a splainage system. What else do we got?
The thing about the 7506s, and we didn't laugh about it, but we talked about this all the time when I was ever talking to audio guys at Sony, is that they're constantly described as neutral headphones. And I'm like, they're not. They're so not neutral. But they are used so many places, like
With
the
the Sonys?
SM57, that they're just sort of engineers. They know what to expect from them, and they can compensate for it. And it's like you just like showing up to a gig with an SM57. If your sound man, has a little bit of experience, they're gonna go, okay, I know what to do. Your board operator. So.
Just acknowledging that Kevin would love to have a sploinage. He said they sound great.
Copper Carver had a question about wireless, I think. Was it?
Where?
I noticed you aren't using wireless. You all utilize wireless.
Too much lag.
Yeah, I can't do wireless. If you're not monitoring your voice, I guess it's probably not a big deal.
No.
But we all tend to monitor our voices, and it's hard to use wireless.
But then if you're not monitoring your voice, what do you need? Well, I guess you can. Yeah, you're using Rode, you can shut your voice off and hear everybody else.
Sometimes if I'm just kind of like chilling and working on something and early on, and I'm just trying to mix something and try to get things placed, I'll just sit in the chair or sit out on the picnic table or an Adirondack chair with a glass of wine with my laptop and have a JBL sitting on the picnic table.
Yeah,
and I'll start with a wireless, Bluetooth JBL. I won't finish it there, but I will certainly get it going there.
Well,
and I will check it later because that's you check it on all the systems you have when you're done, just to make sure that it translates from system to system to system. So for mixing, maybe my problem is I have a proclivity, and that's not the right word, but I have a
tendency.
Disdain is too just too strong. I have a tendency to stay away from wireless because I just don't want to have to manage batteries. I just
Oh God, yes.
not. And I think it comes from being in an educational background. They put it, I got a new lab in, and they gave me wireless mice, and I said, "Are you kidding me? I do
Yeah,
not
all
want to
those-
handle
dude,
all
no.
those batteries for these wireless magic mice. Get these
Wireless
outta
is
here."
great for when it's great.
I think it's great for traveling. You get a
Yeah,
little wireless
yeah.
setup and stuff. I think it's great, and a lot of people can use it. And I know people
You know
have
what-
got all kinds of wireless things. It's just that when I'm mobile, I'm on my desktop or I'm on my laptop, and when I'm at a desk, things are plugged in. So
Yeah, I've seen a
That's
lot of
kind of where I am.
creators that use wireless, and it's a personal preference. I can't do it.
There was a point, I remember maybe into my 10th year at Sony's in the 90s.
Yeah,
At all the trade shows, all the talk was wireless charging, and not the bullshit crap that we got today, which you may as well have a plug plugged in. You set it on a plate, it's got to be in contact, right?
yeah.
No, they were talking about wireless charging from, 3 feet, 9 feet, 20 feet away.
Oh, you know what? I remember a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, and they
In a
had,
room.
active demos actually going on, and I think it ultimately it failed, like a lot of things in legislation. It was not quite understood. It was a whole new tech. It's like trying to build a house out of a alternate material or an alternate
Yeah.
construction process. They just you won't get approval on the permits and things like that. It's a nightmare. But that's the only way that I would see wireless, and I'm talking about pseudo pro. A lot of consumer stuff is wireless, yeah. But I agree with Joe 100%. I used to hate how quickly the batteries died in my Sony wireless lav microphones. We used them all the time for the first 6 months on our show, and then we were just like, this is bullshit. I'm tired of changing batteries, or I'm tired of recharging batteries, swapping them out. It's like. So yeah, if wireless charging, real wireless charging, like you set up a charging unit and 10 feet away it's trickle charging your devices while you're using them, or that, then maybe I'd consider it. But it's a pain in the ass, especially when it fails, because it's not like a smoke alarm where the battery is dying and it beeps to let you know. It just fails, and if you're not paying
Yeah.
attention, you got no audio.
Have you guys either of you ever used? I'm answering a question. So I'm trying to answer the questions. Ever used in-ear studio monitors?
I haven't.
Reviewed them or used them or?
I haven't. I've always wanted to. I mean, the stuff that I always looked at, they were so expensive. I mean, it would have
Yeah.
been nice, but
there's a couple that I've got some earbuds that are sort of in between in-ears and earbuds. They really black out a lot of stuff. So I consider them to be like in-ears, and I use those for like when I'm at the gym. I have not bought and purchased any of the more expensive ones, but
I have a set.
I'm thinking about it because I know that Bark has done several different reviews on some that he's been really impressed with.
The wired, that's what I have.
Yeah, the
Very
wired
similar to a
in-ears.
lot of the ones he's done.
And I know that there's another couple of microphone guys out there that I really respect. I don't follow. They pop in my feed and I watch them. They seem like they really know what they're talking about, but I don't search them out because I'm not really shopping. But some of them, the price has come way down.
Even the ones I reviewed were cheap. They were like 20, somewhere between 25 and $30.
And how did they sound?
So they sound good, but to me, they didn't sound good if you compared them to these. But they took this away. So in your camera shot, it looked a lot more natural and normal and not so, like how we always look with these headphones on. But what I don't like about them is they seemed like they were good. I'm not trying to give any ill, you know what I mean, towards the headphones themselves, but they sounded too loud.
Rickonomics
makes any-
says the consumer audiophile in-ear market has boomed in recent years,
Yeah, it has.
especially in the budget realm. They call them chi-fi.
Chi-fi.
I
Like
guess
China.
China Fidelity?
Chinese,
China
yeah.
Fidelity?
Yeah.
Chi-fi?
Yeah. I just swapped headphones. So
I see that. You've got some really, really slender, low
I
profile.
I haven't tried these on in forever.
Those look
just
like
had
something
you.
right out of like World War II. You know how
What are they?
they barely had any foam on them.
Yeah, these are weird. They're not over the ears, they're on the ears. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
resting
that's
on
it.
your ear.
Yeah.
And they're semi-open back, and that's one of the reasons I never use them on camera because I don't want the bleed to get in. They're for listening. They're for listening to music. But these are Ross RE272s. And samarium cobalt super magnets, it says. And I got these in London in 1983.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And do they ever fatigue your ears if you wear them too long?
If my ears get fatigued because sometimes I do bad things like listen to music too loudly.
Oh.
You
Well, I
mean
meant
like
just from the
ear or
pressure.
oh no, the pressure? No, but I'm not real sensitive to that. I hear a lot of people complaining about their ears getting tired or their ears getting sore. It's just I don't know if I've been just doing it for such a long time. It doesn't
You've just
bother me.
killed
so
all the
much,
nerves.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's all that wrestling I did when I was a kid. It just.
I never thought I had particularly sensitive ears, but then when I started doing more and more of this, I just noticed that the slight pressure, if they're touching my ears, it builds up over time.
The
And
cartilage
it
of my
literally
ear starts to get
ache.
sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the floppy part of your ear. Yes, that starts
Yeah.
to get like almost like bruised. If I touch that too much.
Do y'all think noise canceling mode while editing effects? What do you hear? It might be simple. Copper Carver, I agree. It would be no, because then you're noise canceling. You're changing the actual sound. I don't think there's any way to avoid it when you're using electronic noise canceling, because you're canceling out frequencies. It is. Yeah, I mean, if all you're doing is all you care about is that your levels are good, sure. But if you're doing anything that requires an assessment of tone, yeah,
It's a good
I'd say
question
no.
because I've often thought about, would that help me edit my sound better, or at least be able to hear what I'm editing better if I had noise cancellation on and wasn't hearing anything else? But I almost want to hear the same thing that everybody else is going to hear when I'm editing you know what I mean? So that when I edit it, it comes out the same way they're going to hear it.
This is what the headphone guys always told me when I was at Sony, and maybe it's changed, but I doubt it. The noise canceling, you're canceling frequencies. You're getting the inverse of a group of frequencies, and then you're firing the reverse of that, or the
Yeah.
inverse of that, and that's what cancels them out. But both sets of frequencies are there. That pressure is being created. Your brain is receiving those signals, and if you wore noise canceling too long, it became fatiguing, because even though you may not be actively hearing the sound, your brain was perceiving it. Your nerves were detecting it and getting some element of it. And so, yeah, noise canceling maybe it still is. I don't know. I'm not in the business anymore. But at the time, it was a solution for a bigger problem than the exhaustion that the noise canceling
Was causing on
may
you?
introduce. Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get nothing for free in this world.
Yeah. There's a
Right?
sacrifice.
Right. So, yeah.
I'm going to go to this next one.
I was just going to say it's a form of acoustic masking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick on mic. I moved from headphones to IAMs because I was developing a dent on the top of my head after hours long editing sessions. Is that true?
Yeah, doesn't the top of
I've-
my head gets sore right here where the
No,
band.
he's talking about he was just starting to develop a dent, and I saw a big thing about that for a while about gamers having a dent in their not in their hair, but in their because I get it in my hair. But I've never noticed a dent. I mean, of course, I don't do hours and hours, so I was just curious. I wanted to put that one up because is that true? Do you get a dent in your skull?
I don't think you get a dent in your skull.
I mean, yeah.
I think that maybe there's pressure when you take the headphones off, and maybe just like anything, when you sleep in the morning with a CPAP mask, you'll walk around for a couple hours in the morning with the lines.
Oh, with a yeah.
Because
I
where
can
it's
see
pressed into
that,
your
but
skin,
this was a subject. It was a big thing I was seeing, and there was all these gamers that had supposedly actual dents in their like in their head.
Instead of having a pillow face, you got headphone head.
Yeah, headphone
I
head.
can tell you this. This is I talked about Qualia, and these are the Qualia headphones, ridiculously expensive headphones.
Yeah.
That I was talking about. That literally, I don't know if you can see on the inside, but it's all open. These are open back too. But if you look at the headphone band, this was designed to distribute the weight of the headphones, and these are really
Right.
light. These are
More
carbon
even,
fiber.
wider. Yeah.
Right? The chassis is carbon fiber. So it's pretty damn light. But yeah, it distributed it across, and they're much more comfortable for longer
For
listening.
longer periods. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Jess is saying stress line. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking. What you were saying with the CPAP mask is you would get a stress line that eventually would go away.
yeah.
But I legit I saw a lot of stories about people talking about having dents in their heads, and I was like,
I would think there'd be a lawsuit if people literally had dents in their skull.
I don't
because of
know.
headphones.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some pretty heavy headphones. I mean, certainly gamers, because they've got the microphones built into them.
I mean, you
and
figure how long they're doing it.
Yeah.
Like hours and hours. Anyway, back on to other stuff.
No, your Joe says, I'm wanting a new pair of headphones besides good audio. I'm looking for something that is comfortable, cool over the ear, not too heavy, and not a lot of clamping force. So I use these primarily for recording or for monitoring when I'm at a microphone. But if I'm mixing, it's often AKGs.
Now, when you say mixing, you're just talking about editing, right?
Yeah, editing or mixing music. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
editing or actually mixing soundtracks or
Yeah.
it could be a lot of different things. It could be a song, or it could be audio sound effects for a film
Yeah.
or a play or whatever. Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of different ranges for AKGs.
Yeah.
Basement
that
dwellers.
are over the ear. What's that?
Live stream consultants.
Tell them to get over it.
And
Bunch
then,
of
Bunch of
neck-bearded.
neck-bearded basement dwellers.
and then the
I know he's kidding.
I just got some Sures that I haven't tried yet. So
Headphones?
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to try
Shure
some
makes-
Shures.
They make some nice headphones.
yeah.
You know what I love and I hate is my Rhodes. My Rhodes are so soft and comfy. The NTH 100s, I never and they're the only closed back headphones that I have in my studio, which I would love to be using, but they're super fatiguing on my head because I got a large head, and the headband itself, no matter how much you extend it, this part is not wide enough for my head.
You know, I've got
I
a big,
get it
I've
on,
got a
but-
big melon too. Have you ever just taken the headphones, right? Because this
I tried.
ultimately,
I
they're- okay.
tried.
Yeah, because I literally bent
I mean,
these.
I
to
tried
get
as
some
much as I
relief.
could before fear of breaking it. You know, I was, and it's still.
Well, it's also too. It may not be metal. They could be the ultra
Yeah,
frame
well.
underneath it could be plastic, ABS or something like that. So
I think it's a metal band. It's a full. So afraid to ruin them.
well, if you're not using them, what do you care?
I guess because I paid good money for them. They're nice though. They're the only thing that I will say about them, opposed to these other two, is these ear cups do not completely go over your ear. They do touch your ear a little bit. But other than that, they sound good. They're comfortable for a little bit. I don't know.
Well, don't break them because I
No.
open my mouth.
But if you can We'll see. We'll see. They're not hooked up, so I'm not gonna try
I
'em
take
out.
no responsibility for the stupid advice that comes out of my mouth before going through my brain filter.
Yeah.
So
If it wasn't for that, I'd probably wear them more often. At least when I was editing. So I think, or doing this. I don't know. I heard Joe
Yeah.
saying that these are bad for when you're talking on a mic because it bleeds. Do you guys ever hear me bleeding? Because all of everything I use is open back.
I don't know. I turn my headphones down to just the point where I can hear you guys. I mean, my preference would honestly be talking on my monitors. That's I turn them down.
I would
low,
love
but
to, but I
it
can't do what
always
you do.
doesn't seem to work out. So why can't you do it?
And there's always this like feedback. Bad.
Oh.
No matter if I turn them down really low, doesn't matter. It's and it's like a noise, and it just doesn't work. So I've got it set up in the Rodecaster so that when any of my microphones are unmuted, it turns those off anyway. So as soon as I mute a microphone or both microphones, then they'll turn back on.
There's got to be some technical solution that some audio engineer.
I wish, because
if
there's
they want
times
to.
when if we've, me, I don't like to go much past an hour, but if we do go past an hour, at a certain point, I'm like, all right, I want to get these off and just listen on my because my monitors sound great, and they're just the Presona, like the 3.5s. They sound great, but I can't.
My
doesn't
challenge is when I can use my monitors on this broadcast. I don't know if it's
Yep.
DV Mux or whatever, but okay, so say something.
Hello, 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Can you hear yourself?
Can I hear myself?
Yeah.
No, not like like a repeated. No.
Okay. So they're pretty low, and this is like I do learner to learner, every so often, and
And you
John
can hear us good.
John constantly can hear when I'm on my monitors, and he's like, "Please
Oh.
put on your headphones. Put on your headphones." And I'm like, "So," but yeah, my preference would be monitors every day and nothing going on, because I mean these are my everydays, and these are in ear. I had to wrap these because I wear them for so long that the silicone
Yeah.
makes me sweat. So I
Yeah,
wrap them.
yeah.
But these are in my ear. But when I'm not listening or talking on the phone, they got to go down. So
Carver said he's worn headphones before where I'll shift them slightly forward and forward a little bit, and it sounds like the actual audio was changing because of where the audio was coming into my ear. And then he's got a part 2. If there's a specific spot on your head as far as how far forward or how far back, or is it just a simple put it on your head and wherever it's comfortable? So I guess he's saying, is there any preference or technique that matters more as to how you have them angled? I know once you start spinning it too far, they break seal basically because they're shaped this way. You know what I mean?
yeah, they're oval. So that's the thing
Yeah.
about these. These are oval. So I can do that, but then they don't fit right.
They don't
And
seal up right.
Then they
Yeah.
start squeezing, like that. So what I want to know is, I've got a friend who works for a really high-end audio company, and they make really high-end headphones. I'm going to have to call them and see if maybe I can borrow some headphones for testing, because I'm curious. I mean, we're talking on headphones that are $200.
Right.
And you got to
This is
wonder,
nothing.
if you have $1,000 pair of headphones, does that really make a difference? Is that $800 getting you something more?
I don't know because it's beyond my blood. My blood's it's too rich for my blood.
Yeah, so Copper Carver, what I typically do is is in the same way that if I'm miking a guitar cabinet, I'll start the microphone at the center of the dust cap of the speaker. I'll try to center the speaker on my ear, and usually I can feel what seems to be most comfortable based on how the headphones are made. and that's where I start typically. And I usually start with the headband pulled up, and I'll put it where I think it's most comfortable, and then I'll adjust the headband down to it.
Yeah.
You know, and then pull it down. But just like microphones, sometimes you might want to change it a little bit and see if that makes a difference that you like.
So to Paco's comment, he said that he wish he could get some wired headphones, but he's afraid to break the wire. I like headphones. In fact, I've thought about doing a mod on my headphones to where you can just use a mini jack stereo plug. So you go in and you wire up a female connector and you put that there. But I've seen some manufacturers that have like magnetic connectors. So if the wire gets tripped up, it doesn't
just
tear
pops
or break
off.
the headphone. It just pops off. Kind
You know
of like the
my
way
favorite-
Apple did their power cable on their Mac.
I want to replace all mine with this, and I don't know how to do that on these because these are not plugged in. These are wired, like permanent.
You know, isn't it funny?
This
I
is
was
so
just thinking to
nice.
myself, I'd like to get rid of the curly cords because the curlies get
No, I
all
like them.
wild and kinked and everything. I'd like to just
Really?
go straight cable. Yeah.
Mine don't at all. That's why I like it, because it doesn't. I don't know. All the other ones, everything gets caught up on stuff, and I'm like, "Bleh." But like these are hardwired. They're not. That's not a plug on these. The Sennheisers.
The headphone guy says price is not an indicator of good sound. Well, price better be an indicator of something other than I'm a moron for spending it. Because I mean, I've always assumed. I mean, it's been a long time since I was a salesperson selling audio equipment, but there was real expensive speakers we sold, and then there were cheap speakers we sold, and in between, and you always ended up getting something. I mean, that better depth, better imaging, better. If you're not getting something for that money, I'd be pissed.
So, what is the most you guys would pay for headphones?
Well, since I'm using headphones that Sony paid for before I left the company 10 years ago, I would say nothing.
Yeah. I tell you what, I have seen some headphones and thought, oh, I bet those sound good, or oh, I bet those are comfortable. Comfort is the most prominent thing that comes into my brain when I'm thinking about price is, oh, they must be more comfortable. They must be more comfortable if they're $1,000. I just can't. I don't foresee a day in my life where I'm gonna look at $1,000 pair of head. I can't look at a $500 pair and go, I'm gonna buy those. I just can't. I wish I could, but I'm not at that point.
Yeah. So, yeah, my son just recently started a job in a shop where he's running between machines and doing maintenance and doing all kinds of stuff. But it's a very clean shop. He went from a very dirty, oily covered shop to a very, very clean, different environment. And he's allowed to listen to podcasts and listen to music while he's working. So I bought him a very nice pair of noise canceling headphones. I think they're about $300. But again, I sort of thought of those as a work tool for him.
Because of the noise canceling?
For the noise canceling and comfort and, a whole variety of reasons. And it was his birthday, whatever. But for me, it's kind of like my mic. I've got different utility headphones, and they're all tools for different things.
Yes.
Some of my favorite, like if I'm over across the hall at the radio station, it's a totally different idea. Whether I'm mixing something or recording, I want them closed back, and I want them fairly tight so I don't get any leaks. But if I'm listening to music, I will probably break out my old vintage Pioneer headphones. I've got some really old Pioneer headphones, and if you wanted that vintage Pioneer, the vintage headphones, the used market is flooded with those because they were hugely popular on military bases. They're in the base exchange, super cheap. So there's a lot of them out there. Most of the time, you just have to clean them up and replace the foam. You could tell, here's a secret, if you're going to buy some old headphones, and works with microphones too, if they were in their original box, they probably didn't get used very much. And if they did, they were taken care of. That's a real good indicator of whether or not they're going to be in decent shape. But yeah, I mean, it depends. Not usually for me. I don't buy headphones, really, because I've got so many from years and years and years of doing this. I've got some costs. What's the model? The green ones, except that mine aren't green. The Pro 4As. They're really, I mean, I think everyone knows them from the 70s and 80s. They're great big green things. They're heavy. They're like 600 ohms. They're not very efficient. But if you've got an amp to drive them, they're really, really accurate.
Yeah.
And the foam pads actually have gel. So when you put them on, they seal.
Yeah.
And again, they're so heavy that a lot of people don't like them for that. But if you're trying to block everything out and get a great sound, they're your headphones. Yeah, so it depends. It really depends.
What was that, Phil?
I haven't put those on for years.
Oh, that's one thing I've noticed about the Bear Dynamics, the like the Pro lines, super light. Like that's usually what I wear, but I've been wearing the Sennheisers because I haven't.
Okay.
So.
Hey, I just wanted to say I saw your comment, Paco. I can't wait to get the unit in as well. I'm curious to know how it sounds. I was trying to respond to you in text, and I guess I can't pull up like a response window on here.
Oops.
So I think I might have accidentally closed it down. I hope I did. I can't kick him out of. I can't kick somebody out of chat, can I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, you could hit block user, yeah.
Well, I didn't. Well, I
No,
hope
it
I
doesn't
didn't block
doesn't look like he's blocked.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
his comment went away, so yeah. Anyway,
Kevin gave me a question back.
Yeah.
It says, I'm talking about in today's market, you have no headphones, all your previous are gone. So you're talking about when the hurricane comes and wipes it out. I just went to the webpage and it's Sweetwater and just typed in Biodynamic because those are ones I don't have and I would like to get. So that's a, not just a hypothetical, but if that's my direction I go, I'd probably go $200 or $300 if I were still doing this kind of thing, or still at the radio station, or buyers are really good headphones. So
I want some that are got lower ohms. These 250 ohms. The only thing I don't like about them is I gotta like really crank up the volume. So then things that like you guys talking is much louder because I have to turn up the headphone volume. So I don't like that part about it, but.
So how efficient were those like $20 headphones you were talking about?
The ones that I have?
Yeah.
They're good. They're good. I just don't use them that much because they seemed a little too loud. So like in other words, when you turn your volume up, each increment you go up, my IEMs are like way louder than what I'm used to. So I'd have to turn things way, way, way down. I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe if I stayed consistently with them, using them all the time, I would get accustomed to them. But
I just got a peek at what used Qualia headphones are selling for in the used market.
I'll grab them and show you them.
Ouch.
Did you see that, Joe?
What?
What the used Qualias are selling for?
No, I was just looking at someone else's comment saying the head D1s, HEDD D1s, and they're like $700. No. I am a cheap guy that uses a 2012 MacBook Pro for most everything I do. Not everything I do, but
That's okay.
most everything I do.
They last.
Oh, no, I'm saying, but I just, Vintage Pioneers are 30 to 100. Yeah. I've got several pairs of those. I've got all the ones from the Super.
Oh, no, I was talking about the $19 over-the-ear ones.
I thought you. Oh,
yeah.
what was the? About
how efficient are they?
those are fine. I mean, like I said, I have nothing else in my studio to compare them to other than big dollar stuff. But one thing that I noticed was, or I think I noticed, I don't want to say it because it's not an official claim.
They look like Sony's, quite honestly.
But when I use these in editing, my volume levels on my exported my final product are lower than when I'm wearing these. Yeah, Nubo. But like I said, the volume is quite so. Like, say I edit a video wearing one of these, and then I put it on YouTube, and then I'm downstairs in the living room later on the next day watching the video to make sure whatever. If I edit that same video with these, the volume is going to be a lot lower. And I'll have to turn the volume up on my phone or whatever I'm watching on a lot higher than normal to be able to hear it good.
I think, honestly, headphones are in the same situation that microphones are in right now, which is you've got a lot of these new manufacturers coming online, trying to enter the space with, decent product, and in some cases, really great product. And suddenly, the go-to brands, the AKG, the Sennheiser, the Shure, the Sony, are, they've got competition. I'm not saying that the Nubo compete with Sony and AKG and Sennheiser, but they might have higher end headphones that they make. Or
what is Kevin? What do you mean? Kevin says change them on your interface. Oh, I know what he's talking about. Probably because I didn't change it to a low impedance or high impedance. That's a good one. I think he told me that already.
But also like classic microphones, classic headphones. I mean, look, at the end of the day, especially for what we're doing, I mean, we're not mixing audio, for bands.
No,
but even studios are still using 7506s or the equivalent. I mean, do you really think that the new version of the 7506 is anything other than a way for them to be able to keep the price up with a little bit different design? It is pretty much the same technology on the inside. They're not. Yeah. And I know that because I keep coming back to these, because when these came out, the drivers that were used in these were the first time in 20 years that Sony had actually updated the high quality driver that they were using in their headphones. And to this day, this driver is the one that is being used in as many microphones or headphones that they can afford it. So it's packaging a lot of times. So if you want to get something different, truly different, you've got to look outside the mainstream.
Yeah, I'll have to try that out, changing these to high impedance and see if that makes a difference. Joe.
Hi-Fi Man VX, $400 are supposed to be good. Well, they better be for $400.
Which model Pioneers would you recommend for the vintage ones? SE20, SE205, SE305, 405, 505. Live streams was asking Joe.
So I've got some 50s and they're fine. The only problem. So the 50s are fine. The 205s, 305s are fine. The one of the things is that when you get higher and higher, some of them actually have balance and individual volume controls on them.
Yeah.
If they're that old, you need to be probably prepared to pull them apart and clean those pots, and they're also heavier. Oh boy, I'd have to. Let me know where. Maybe I could send you a pair, and you could try them out, and you could figure this out. I forgot that I had these in my office. I just went over and grabbed these. These are SE450s. These are a little bit newer than the coconut. What my students refer to my home Sony's as coconut headphones. These
are you talking? Yeah, these are the high end with the wood.
Yeah, these are
enclosure.
These are 450s. I got these when I was in high school. But the big coconut ones are the SE50s.
DR1, something like
Those
that.
are just really, they're really plain. The white ones, the 405s. Those are all really nice, and you get slight increases in quality. Again, but they're too heavy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Here's another challenge when it comes to buying used headphones. It's the same thing that I talk about on, I'm going to have to expand my Blacklist series to headphones now. You have to be careful. I mean, I talked about the Audio Technica, the M50s. You can go on AliExpress right now and you can buy visually identical, and they have the Audio Technica logo and they say Audio Technica. They've got the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. Those are not Audio Technica headphones. Those are rip-off counterfeits. And so it's one of the reasons that I actually didn't buy a pair of M50s in the used market, because they're being sold. How do I know? I had to spend the money. I got to test them out. I've never owned a pair of Audio Technica of M50s before. I don't know what they're supposed to sound like.
Right.
And I imagine like a fake Shure SM7B. Well, they don't sound like crap. If they work, it sounds pretty good, but it just doesn't sound like an SM7B. So you got to be careful about buying stuff used. I mean, I bought a pair of 7506s on the used market. I got them. They were beat to hell. And all I had to end up doing was clean them and change the ear pads. And I got them for like $25, which was a steal, but I felt comfortable buying them because there's not fake 7506s that I could find. So yeah, be mindful of that when you're looking at Pioneers and you're looking at, because they're looking to get your money any way they can.
Copper Carver said, headphones, I feel, are worse for ripoffs, more than mics by a million.
But you know, here's a dirty secret. Clay, you and Joe and I, we talk about this behind the scenes. It's that you got to wonder, how much do people really hear a difference in the microphones that we review, right? That we're doing these detailed reviews. I think that the difference is in the last, and the analogy is in the last 10 yards, right? Yeah, and there are differences, but most people can't hear it.
It's out on the very edge.
So, you know, what is it? Not Bandrew, but Podcastage. Is it Bandrew? Yeah, it's Bandrew.
Yeah.
Talks about, you know, you have to, and Joe, I think you might agree with this, you have to train your ear to understand what a microphone sounds like. You can't just pick up a microphone and hear a difference. There's a certain of training yourself to hear what you're looking for. And
I agree.
You know, you get better and better at it. I don't think most people that are listening to us on YouTube, most people are even going to be willing to invest the time. So
right, yeah.
What does it matter if they buy a $20 Behringer versus a $109 SM57?
And some of that knowledge goes beyond even like myself. Like there's certain aspects of mics. I say this to you guys all the time, that you two know way more about mics than I do.
But Copper says it's the crispness. But also, that's a hallmark of shitty microphones, is they're too crisp, right? Yes, you can find crappy microphones that are very muffled and they're very deep, but you can buy a ribbon microphone that has no high end.
Kind of like my Dollar General microphone that I did. That thing was horrible.
Is that recent? Did I miss that?
You never saw that? That was one of my top videos. Yeah, I bought a condenser microphone, broadcast style microphone at Dollar General. It was originally $15. It was sitting on a shelf for $11, and I thought, $11, I can't say no. That's worth a video. When I got to the register, it rang up $7.25. And it had an RGB light inside of it. Kind of looked like a HyperX. And it was the skunkiest, garbage, most yucky sounding microphone I've ever had.
Yeah, Jess says she has a toner TD510. It's the crappiest mic I own, and people like it. I think it comes back to most people don't know, and I know I'm not don't mean to be insulting to most people. I frankly I think I am still in that class. I am not a mic expert. In fact, every time Clay says those words, I was like, no. I mean, it's
when you talk about like internals and how this and that,
yeah,
like
but
you remind me of like that comparing you to me, that dude that, you know, like the circumference of the, you know, I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. So,
wow. So
yeah.
I think that I think that's why Toner sells microphones, because most people that get them, they're like, I sound great on this. And you know what? If you were using the microphone built into your camera before,
Right.
you
And
do sound
you
great
do
on
sound
that
great
Toner.
now. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I have the TD. Well, I still have it. The 510. I don't think it sounds horrible. I do not think it sounds good. I think it is too boomy and too bassy. But there's my take. What is Kevin saying?
I was just going to get to that.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Kevin said, I sound really good tonight. He was texting me. I don't know. It's just the SM7B. I moved it closer. Maybe that's why.
I think also to positioning, you know, take EQing out of the mix and
Yeah.
processing, because you can do a lot to a microphone
Yep.
with some processing and some EQing. But I am constantly fascinated. I was talking to Clay about this before we went online today. This is a side address condenser microphone. This is a decent side address condenser microphone. But I was demonstrating to him that, curiously, I was talking into the end by mistake. I was just kind of goofing around, and it actually still puts out usable sound. It sounds to me like throwing the low cut filter.
Yeah.
It's almost identical to it. I can't do that on most of my side address microphones and not sound like I'm an idiot on a Blue Yeti talking into it like it's an SM58.
Well, you did it before we went live, and I could definitely tell. I could totally tell. But
it's completely different in tone. But
if you hadn't started off talking in the side and we're just talking in the end, it was completely acceptable. I would have never even questioned it.
I mean, I've got a couple of mics that it seems almost critical that this is, you don't talk directly into the side, you don't talk at the top, you talk at the edge. And when you talk at the edge, it was a good balance. This microphone does really well with this too.
Well,
the DM1, just going to Jess and Know Your Joe, is the Vocaster mic. I actually want one of those. It looks like a nice mic. I have not.
I'm trying to remember somebody we listen to destroys the Vocaster microphones, the Focusrite mics, all of them. Just detests them all. Is it Bandrew? Is it Audio Hotline?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I'm
I
not
don't want to
sure.
put words in somebody's mouth, but yeah.
I don't have any of them.
Yeah. Well, pretty much the only place you get them is when you buy a kit. I don't think they sell a whole lot of them separately.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away with their fake SM57 or 58.
Go ahead, Joe.
You know?
Well, a couple things. Back to headphones. I bought some Tascam headphones on sale. Some of the lower level ones to use just as utility headphones at the radio station, and I think they're pretty bad. Now, they were the cheap ones, but they were pretty bad. I don't have any experience with the Tascam headphones.
Right.
But Kevin asked a question about Walkman headphones.
Oh yeah.
And I had a pair of what was at the time cutting edge ultra lightweight headphones, and I had when I was a freshman in college, a roommate stole them from me. When he moved out first and my headphones disappeared. And I just looked them up. They're the original MDR7s. The list price for them used now is $483.
Used?
25 cents.
Blah.
These are used vintage, right? Because they've been out of production for forever.
Oh, so that drove the cost up.
But they were so light and so small and incredible. And it's one of the reasons I fell in love with audio is those headphones.
Yeah.
Because I bought those when I had no speakers. That was one of my entryways in. So you talk about those. You talk about Walkman headphones. LOL. There are some really, really quite good ultralight and lightweight headphones. Sony's made some. They've also made some disposable ones. Jensen used to make some. Who else makes some? Sennheiser used to make some.
Yeah.
Shockingly, JVC makes really nice, small, lightweight, portable headphones. That they did but they were just basically Panasonic.
Over the ear style, like
No, small, portable ones.
Oh, okay,
You said walking headphones.
oh yeah.
And I know a bunch of folks that swear by. Let me see if I can find the number. A lot of my students and other folks, the Porta Pros by Koss.
Koss, yeah, Koss. Oh, yeah.
Koss Porta Pros. My students at the radio station love those things. The Koss
I think you
Pro
talked
4
about the
AAs.
cost before.
Are those the ones that fold down, the
Yes.
transformer? Yeah, Sony made a copy of those. Those were so
Yeah.
popular. I've got a pair of the Sony ones,
Yeah,
and
the
they
Porta
actually sound
Pros
pretty good too.
At B&H, they're $49.95. And again, the part of the problem is that the students we know from MP3s are willing to sacrifice quality for convenience because most of the stuff they listen to is bad relative to full uncompressed stereo
Yeah, but
audio.
They're listening to these, the earbuds. You can only get so much out of an earbud.
Right, but they do like the Porta Pros, and so there's a bunch going on. Yeah, so Kevin, your question, LOL, is actually there are some pretty respectable ones, but I personally don't ever use them unless I'm casually listening or maybe at the gym.
Yeah. My biggest thing with headphones is comfortability and accuracy. I don't want to be perceiving my volumes and my audio differently than what it's supposed to be, so that when I'm editing, I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah, and then the other ones. What is the other ones I have? The other ones I use as utility headphones. They are junk. I mean, they're a little bassy. They're some in-ears. There's probably 1,000 different people who sell them. There's probably half a dozen people that make them. But they're Bluetooth headphones. They've got an over-the-ear piece of rubber, but they go in, and they've got a rubber strap that connects the two. They range anywhere from $17 to $35 on Amazon. When they go on sale, I buy 3 or 4.
Yep.
Usually last 2 or 3 years, or until I forget they're in my pocket. They go through the wash. And I wear them at the gym all the time. But when I'm listening to the gym, it's not music, it's you guys. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to news. So it's just voice. Occasionally I'll use them for music. And they only really need to have pretty good mid-range because that's all I'm really using them for. So I would be lying if I said that they were good for music because I don't typically use them for that. So again, it depends on your use case.
Yeah, mid to low range is where my sweet spot for listening. I can listen to a podcast. I've told you guys this before. It doesn't even have to be interesting. It just has to sound like this. And I'm like, ooh, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's that, yeah.
kind of like an ASMR thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, though. Headphones in this industry are very good for reasonable prices versus aviation headsets that are hundreds of dollars and sound slightly better than 2 tin cans on a string. Why is that? Why are they so expensive and sound like crap?
I don't know. Pilots don't
What
deserve
was
good
that?
headphones.
What was that?
Right. It was just Livestream Consultants was saying how you can get relatively good sound out of relatively cheap headphones in this space, but when you go to like aviation headphones, they're really expensive and they sound like junk.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you said that because a few years ago I bought, I think, a dozen pair of aviation headphones from a Army surplus place.
Yep.
And I got them for like $5 a piece.
Yep.
And I rewired them for my TV studio, and we use them for comms.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And one of the reasons that they sound like garbage is because they're for communication.
Because
So it's all mid-range.
So
They
you're
don't care
you're
about
hearing all the enunciations properly, and you're getting it right.
but nothing high and nothing low.
Just all mid-range.
It's all they
So
care
neutral.
about is it's all you care about is being able to hear the tower through the garbage.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
that's the real reason they sound like garbage is because they are tuned to get rid of all the rumble and all the upper frequencies.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for it. But why are they so expensive? I don't know because they're not always built that very well.
Right. I was just acknowledging Copper Carver's. He's basically saying his favorite pair that he uses, does gaming with them and stuff. JBL Quantum 910X. They run about $320.
Oh, JBL's good. I like some
I've-
JBLs.
I've never listened to
They're a
them.
Harman company, right?
I'm not sure.
I think they are.
I know of JBL. I've just never really used any.
Hey, it's Eric Hughes. Hey, Eric. Eric is my the microphone guy.
Oh
that,
yeah. That you went and seen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I kept meaning to call you. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, Eric, but I want to talk to you about coming out and doing a show from your place. We talked about it briefly. Hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah. Kevin, did the Bear Dynamic DT270 Pro, are those closed back or open back? I'm not privy to the 270s. I know the 770s are a pair that I would like to get. I just can't see spending the money. I wouldn't spend the money for the ones that I have because they're way too expensive for me. I just got them cheap. Cheap. What else do we got?
It's interesting. I was going to call you. I was talking to another YouTuber up north of me here, Clay. I told you I met him, and he just got rid of his Rode pod mics. I think he upgraded to SM7Bs, and we were talking about trying to understand his choice. Why he made the decision he did, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So. But he sold a pair of pod mics for $150
For a pair?
Pristine shape, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, see, that's a good price. Like I would pay that. I'm not paying $100 for a new one I'm not paying $80 for a used one when a new one is $100 or $110, whatever it's up to now. But it's still $100 to me. Not going to do it. What?
No, Eric, we are not trying to save the world.
No.
Saving the world, one microphone at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, the live stream said they're expensive because they can. Even the Clark headsets, which are used in aviation and auto racing, it's like when O-rings
when
O-rings that are a penny each at AutoZone cost $50 because it's an airplane. Yeah.
Airplane parts, marine parts. It's all more
We can
expensive
charge
that
more
way.
for that.
Yeah. Yes, you can. The
Eric,
other
I
thing-
wish we could save the world with microphones.
Nope.
Just if we could just convince Putin to stop expanding his country because he would rather do a podcast talking about how wonderful Shure microphones sound. God, the world would be a better place. But
Yes.
Pretty sure they're using Bear Dynamics over there, Bayer. Those are German, aren't they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like closer to them, so.
I would imagine. I God knows what. Hey, do we have
What's
any
popular in
listeners in Russia?
What's a popular headphone in Russia? What is everybody buying?
I mean, I you got to wonder do Russian. Well, I mean, obviously beyond the typical Sennheiser Shure, because they sell all of those everywhere in the world. But is there I know Octava is well, I guess technically not because they're around the band, but they're a Russian brand.
That is a Russian brand.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was Russian or German.
Okay, so they're allowed to sell them here in the U.S. So that I believe they've shifted manufacturing,
Yeah.
or they're around. They've gotten an exception because maybe they're only buying the capsules from the factory that's in Russia. I can't remember what the story is.
So I want to address Copper Carver's comment. He says, got these never changing gaming, music editing comfort.
Oh, yeah.
Is amazing. Spatial, good for gaming. Wireless is 37.
I read that
hours,
one
but
earlier.
Also, yeah. And,
Oh, okay,
and
you
can
gotta
be-
touch
can
on
be
it.
wired JBL Quantum. I think that a lot of people, this isn't for everybody, but when a lot of people are thinking of gaming headphones, they're thinking about headphones with a microphone, and there's a completely different part of the industry that deals with that, but at a higher quality than gaming, and those are the broadcast headsets. So the people that call MLB and NBA and all those. So if you go and type in broadcast headsets, not headphones but headsets, Sennheiser, Audio Technica, they have, so you get a Sennheiser quality microphone
Right.
on a broadcast quality headset. Now
See-
you're gonna pay for both. It's not gonna be cheap, but you're gonna sound amazing.
If I'm referencing a gaming headset, I'm talking about with a mic.
Right.
If I say gaming headphones, I'm not talking about the ones that come with the included boom mic. I'm talking about good
Right.
regular headphones that are like got some kind of Dolby sound or whatever for gaming.
But if you take the term gaming out and put broadcast in,
Yeah.
you get a whole different world of products.
Right. And they can use those just as well.
Sure they can, but they're
Yeah.
super expensive, and
Right.
they have the microphone doesn't have that. It doesn't have to be that good talking to your buddies gaming.
Right.
But if you're going to be broadcasting, on the radio or on television, you need to sound like you sound on the SM7B.
Right.
And
You want
that's
to
gonna-
sound
and
like
that's
you're
gonna
supposed to
cost
be.
something. And you can get them with dynamic capsules and with condenser capsules. You can get them with slightly different polar patterns and noise canceling. It's a whole other world. That's all I'm saying. And we've got some Sennheisers here and some Audio Technicas here, and they're really good.
Eric
Built
has
really
a bit of a trick question or off-topic question for us. He said this is for excuse me, all three of you, slightly off topic. During the Soviet days, do you know what number one reason for house fires in Russia was? I do not. So I'm going to let you two try to guess,
Cigarette?
and then Eric is going to answer for us.
I don't know if he's being serious or if it's a joke.
Number one reason for house fires.
I have no idea.
Go ahead, Eric.
I don't either. I just think it's a great question. Take a wild guess. Anyone. I don't have a wild guess, Eric. I would give you one.
Smoking and drinking,
Yeah, falling asleep with cigarettes in their mouths.
and very high alcohol vodka. I don't know.
That's mine. Falling asleep with a cigarette in their mouth.
No idea.
Philip.
I said cigarettes and high alcohol vodka.
All right, there's your answer. The number one reason was. All right, now we're waiting. Let's see what this is.
Russian-made television sets. Yeah,
Oh, is that what it is?
that's what he said.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, there it goes. Oh, nice. Russian. So they were catching fire, like just.
Well, my first thought was tubes. Probably something to do with tubes. 'Cause tubes get hot.
Yep.
But I didn't put it to TV sets.
See, I thought it was going to be something about microphones, but I'm like, how do microphones catch on fire?
Nope.
So it turns out that Octava and Soyuz microphones are Russian microphones, and at least Octava has got some kind of exception on the sanctions that are currently going on.
Yeah.
So they're allowed to sell them
I
here in the
did,
United States.
Needless to say, Russia doesn't make televisions anymore.
I did. I can't remember what podcast I was watching, but they were it was interesting because they were talking about the history of Russian microphones, and since back in the Soviet days, the government owned everything.
Yeah.
That these were not actually brands, but they were factory names. Since they were all,
like Octava and
they were all made by the state, so this was the Octava factory, and the microphones that came out of there
are Octava microphones now.
Octava microphones, but at the time it wasn't a brand, which I think is really kind of interesting. I wonder what,
So they didn't want to have Western microphones, so they made their own.
Yeah. They didn't want to be
Capitalist
spied on.
microphones.
They didn't want to be spied on.
Well, no, during the Cold War, there was not a lot of trade.
Right.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, I've never used an Octava or a Soyuz, but I know, you're welcome, Eric. But and thank you for the interesting segue, or interstitial.
That was the highlight of the thing for me tonight, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to. I've toyed around with an MK2 Octava. It's their pencil mic. That's supposedly a poor man's version of my dream microphone, the Sennheiser MKH50. But I haven't pulled the trigger.
Yes, that's the poor man's, because I would, if in a dream world, I would have the MKH 416.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather have the MKH50
Yeah.
every day. Every day.
I like the 16. I don't know if the 416, but they're both. I like them both. So, anywho, we're approaching an hour and a half. It's getting close to 11 o'clock for me, and close to 10 for Joe. I know it's dinner time for Phil.
Oh no, I've already had my dinner. But thank you.
No, we're in the same time zone, Clay.
I thought you were an hour ahead of me, or whatever. You know what I mean.
You figured it's Chicago, not Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Cleveland, Ohio. Isn't that where that the famous radio station from the TV show? It was Cincinnati.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, in Cincinnati.
Oh, but the Rock Hall is here, so you got to come visit.
Yeah.
You know?
So this was a good one. I think it was a really good discussion tonight about headphones.
I'm sorry we didn't get to so many questions, so many comments.
Yeah, we got most, I think, of the addressable ones.
Yeah, I tried to. I jumped in.
The Russians are using Ukrainian headphones, says Know Your Joe.
I've got.
Is that a joke or is that real? Does Ukraine make headphones?
What were you going to say, Joe? You were talking.
Sorry, Joe.
Oh, I have YouTube open on another screen, so I've been trying to answer questions. So that's
yeah.
away.
Well, like I said, I think most of the addressable, there's a lot where they were talking amongst each other, but
yeah, and I was trying to chime in there too, but
Ukraine does make Verum Audio.
Nice.
The audiophile plein air headphones.
Cool.
Oh, they're probably expensive.
Great discussion.
Order Verum 2 now.
So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. My back is telling me it is time to get out of the seat.
Already.
So maybe we'll have another great one in another couple weeks. So thanks for the idea, you two. I don't know who to put this one on, but it was not me. It was the one-armed man.
What was left over from you and Kevin?
Yeah, it was leftovers. It was a leftover night. That's what it was.
It was a adjacent.
We had leftovers tonight.
You guys were talking about headphones, and I just
So Kevin, I will do that soon. I will change the impedance level in the Rodecaster and see how those sound. That's it. Other than that, do you guys got any closing words?
Stay tuned for a video on the Aston Origin.
Ooh, exciting. You got anything coming out soon, Joe?
I am dragging my feet.
That's okay.
I've got to get that 55. The problem is I don't know where to stop.
No expectations.
I know, but that's always my problem. And I looked it up today. It's like, who in the hell said it? Who said I could have wrote a shorter letter if I had more time?
I could have wrote a shorter letter if I had more time.
Yeah, because my problem is I love doing research and I'd like to talk about stuff, and then I don't know where to cut it off. So I
Yeah.
could do. I was like, okay, here's a 55. I bought this cheap, and I'm refoaming it and putting it back together. But then I feel like talking about, well, this is a PE 55. I've never seen one before.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? I want to
Squirrel. Squirrel.
I feel like I want to talk
So-
about the 55, even though there's lots of videos about the 55. I
So,
don't
Joe,
know.
we should reach out to AKG because they just released 3 new microphones
I know.
and they're affordable
I
and
know.
they're low noise.
I
And
know.
maybe, you need to evaluate them at a minimum for the college.
Well, yeah. And look at what I've done for AKG.
Yeah. You've
Well,
really
I mean,
boosted them.
If I were AKG, I'd send you a whole kit, including the 214 and the 414 and the 414 XLS, so you could compare them all.
Yeah.
But chances are you have 414s in your inventory in your mic locker.
Yeah.
So.
But these are so cheap.
Yeah,
You know?
they're like in the hundreds and in
Yeah.
the 200s, like 229 and 129 for the.
All right, I'm going to close it up and we can finish this afterwards. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and you guys stick around and we'll finish this. And we'll see you guys later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
You know what? I'm just gonna end. I'm just gonna cut because it's not been working and I don't know why. So see you
Bye,
later.
Jess. Bye, live streams. Bye, Eric. Bye, Know Your Joe. Bye, Copper Carver. Bye, Paco.